not try it à la French? After the US and England, France is the third most popular destination for international students. Thousands of them come here every year. Find out what's so attractive about studying in Paris with Shona Bhattacharya and Julia Munzer.
Welcome to the Cité Internationale Universitaire in Paris's 14th arrondissement. Every year, these residence halls are home to some 12,000 students from around the globe, and many of them are European. It's one of the surprising legacies of World War I, a place where students from around Europe can study together and keep conflicts from breaking out in the future.
We kept this pacifist guideline, and every year when we welcome students from around the world, we mix them together in a process we've nicknamed the Big Shuffle. That way, there are between 20 and 60 nationalities present in each residence hall.
Today, the Cité Internationale Universitaire brings together students from 140 countries, and close to half of them are from Europe. They study in the different public and private universities in the Greater Paris region. Victoria chose to do her master's at the Political Science Institute. This 26-year-old Bulgarian is finishing a mandatory internship. When she returns to Sofia, she hopes to continue practicing French, a language she first learned in Brussels, then in Bordeaux, where she spent a year on the Erasmus exchange program.
No matter what happens, I want to keep a link with Francophone countries. I'm going to do my best to find opportunities to speak the language, and why not even work in French one day?
Victoria is living in one of the 37 residence halls on campus. Her room costs 500 euros a month, which she pays with housing benefits and a grant from the French government. Pedro came to Paris with a contract that's paying for his room in the Portuguese residence hall. He's writing his doctoral thesis in physics at Paris Sud University, where the scientific department is world famous in his domain.
I chose to come to Paris because the project was very good in what I want to do. Silicon photonics. Also, my thesis director was really friendly and helpful.
Familiar with the capital's expensive housing sector, Pedro had heard about the Cité Universitaire from a friend and applied for a spot as soon as he could. When he first came from Porto, Pedro found Parisians to be unwelcoming, even cold. But for him, Paris's charm lies elsewhere.
The city itself is beautiful. There are buildings here that, if they were in another city, would be the most beautiful building in the whole city. But here, they're just another building, and you see that everywhere.
But rooms in the Cité Universitaire are in limited supply. Ingvild found a studio in downtown Paris. She plans to soak in as much of the city as she can during her year here.
In Norway, we have this idea of the Parisian atmosphere, and that everything that's French can be found in Paris. I'm sure it's a cliché, but typically French things for me are baguettes, wine, cheese, the Seine, and the Eiffel Tower.
Ingvild found her apartment on the internet. She pays 850 euros a month for 17 square meters. Like more than 29,000 students last year, Ingvild chose to study in France as part of the European Erasmus exchange program. She can still recall how she felt when she saw the Sorbonne for the first time.
I was almost 13 years old, and I'd never heard of the Sorbonne before. I saw this facade that's behind me now. I'd never seen anything like it in Norway. That's when I thought I'd like to come study here one day.
Her French language and literature classes start in a few days. Until then, Ingvild plans on discovering what real life is like in the City of Light.
Bit of sports now, starting with the football and the Ligue 1.
In France's Ligue 1, Samuel Umtiti scored a late equaliser for Lyon to frustrate